Hi, I'm Suki.
And this is 5 for 2020. Because not many books come out in December, Suki and I this month have had the epic task of choosing 5 books that we haven't read from 2020, but that we're really excited to read. And I know Suki has had some problems with choosing.
I have really difficult, by the way. So I've swapped quite a few times, and I know you've had some issues as well, Laura.
My issues were slightly different. I will admit that I realised when I came to choose the books for this video that I'd used a lot of my 2020 proofs to build a book Christmas tree, and I couldn't select some of the books I wanted to without demolishing that tree. So these books I've chosen are all books I genuinely can't wait to read, but it has made it slightly easier for me because I didn't have access to everything. So do you want to start, Suki?
Yeah, I'll start. Here's my first one. This is Love in Colour by Bolu Babalola. A collection of short stories. I'm a really big fan of short stories, so I'm always looking out for new collections, and it is about love. I don't know a huge amount about it. It's got a gorgeous cover, and it's about love and involving people of colour. I'm always looking to diversify my reading, so I'm really excited about this one.
I don't have that one, but I absolutely love that colour, and I've seen it around on social media a lot because it really stands out, doesn't it? It looks brilliant.
It does. It really does stand out. It's a lovely hardback, and yeah, as I said, short stories. I don't know if you enjoy short stories?
I don't read many short stories, but I don't know why, because it is it's the kind of thing you can have on the go while you're reading something else, and kind of dip in and out of. So I should read more of them, but I don't.
That's what I do. Yeah. Cool. So that was my first.
Okay, my first one is Adults by Emma Jane Unsworth. Have you read this?
I haven't, and I don't have it either, actually. It's not on my to buy list.
I love this cover, and I always put Emma Jane Unsworth in a category with other authors that I've really enjoyed, including Holly Vaughan and Dolly Alderton and Daisy Buchanan, whose first novel I'm reading right now. And I just imagine that it'll be really sharp and witty and enjoyable. And it's one of those books that I kick myself on a regular basis for not getting around to yet.
Yeah, no, there are a few on there. You've just reminded me about Dolly Alderton.
Yeah. Oh, you have to read that because it's amazing. Okay, what's your next one?
So my next one is one that I think you have read. Small Pleasures by Claire Chambers. And this is published by WNN, which is an imprint of Orion. So this, correct me if I'm wrong, is about a almost 40-year-old lady who's sort of a bit fed up of life. She makes friends with someone. She befriends the child, quite likes the family, likes the child, and then ends up falling in love with her friend's husband.
That's right. It's about somebody who's living a very quiet life. It's set in the 1950s, and she lives with her mother. She's got this very frustrating, small, quiet life. It seems like she's just kind of missed out on love and things like that. And then she's a reporter for a local newspaper.
Yes, yeah.
That's how she gets involved with the family, because the mother claims to have had a virgin birth. So it's quite an interesting story.
Oh, right. And
she gets involved with the family, and she falls in love with the husband. It's a novel that has had so much praise this year, and it's quite a quiet novel, but it's really beautiful storytelling. And I know we've said this about every book so far, but that cover is just beautiful, isn't it?
And this is the proof, but the finished copy is pretty much identical, isn't it? Yeah.
Really similar, I think. I said this in my review. I took this book on holiday in August, and I ended up giving it to my dad because he took a book that he didn't like, and he'd only taken one book with him, The Fool. So I ended up lending him this, and then I kept saying to my mum and dad, "Can I have that book back?" And Mum said, "I'm just going to read it before I give it back to you." So it went round my family before I got to read it. So I only read it fairly recently, but I think it's one you'll definitely enjoy.
Yeah, I think it is definitely. Yeah, I remember you saying you liked this, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Okay, my next one is The Silent Treatment by Abby Graves. Have you read Greaves? Sorry, Abby Greaves. Have you read this?
I haven't. It's another one that I want to read.
There was a lot of buzz about it, I think, and I'm just really intrigued by the premise, which is that so it says on the front, a lifetime together, 6 months of silence, one last chance. So it's about a marriage, and the couple aren't speaking to each other, and the novel is about kind of about gradually finding out why that is. And I've just heard it's really beautiful. I just trust it's going to be beautiful, and again, it's just slipped through the net.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, it does sound really good. She's got a new one coming out, hasn't she, next year?
I know.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
So my next one, there's probably no surprise to you given we've spoken about this, is Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart. Yeah, and this is published by Picador, and it has won the 2020 Booker Prize. I could kick myself for having this sitting waiting to be read.
Me too.
I'm very annoyed about it. It sounds brilliant. I think, and I was thinking about why I hadn't read it. I wonder if I'm quite daunted by the fact that it's a long one, and it's got very small print as well. And it's not going to be a light read. I know that, and I think that's why I've perhaps been hesitant. But it sounds so good.
I've heard nothing bad about this one.
No, so a little boy in Scotland in the 1980s, shrouded by poverty, an alcoholic mum, I think, and yeah, just his life, and it does sound amazing. I mean, obviously, it's won the Booker, so.
I think I've seen people in the group say that they are sometimes intimidated by Booker shortlisted and Booker winning novels, and I think sometimes they can be a bit inaccessible, but they're certainly not all by a long shot. And I imagine this isn't inaccessible at all.
I agree with you. I think this is probably quite accessibly written, and not in a difficult way or a challenging way. I think what's going to be challenging about it is what it's about, rather than the way it's written. Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
We should read that one as a buddy read and read it at the same time.
Yes, that would be good. That would be really good. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to change my order because something you just said applies to this book. So it's a really sad fact that when you're sent a lot of books like we are, and you're trying to read and review as many as possible, and you sometimes don't choose a book because of its length, and that is the case for me with this. We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker, which I've seen so many people saying it's their book of the year, or that it's like the crime novel of the decade. And I just haven't picked it up because, I mean, it's only
how many pages?
450 pages. I think because sometimes hardbacks look massive, don't they? They look like a chunky book. Maybe when it comes out in paperback, it'll look completely different. But this is set, the author's English, but it's set in America. And it's about somebody who's just been released from prison after serving time for murder, and the kind of the family that and community that he goes back to. And I got a proof of this at Harrogate last year, and then I bought it in hardback. I've got the proof and I've got the hardback, and I haven't read either of them. This video is like an exercise in guilt, isn't it?
It really is. I'm just sitting there thinking, yes, I need to read that too. I actually bought that one. Is it not out? It's out in paperback now, I think.
Oh, maybe it is now. Yeah, maybe.
I think I have it in paperback. But yeah, definitely one that sounds. Also, it sounds like it's quite an emotive crime novel, because the cover to me doesn't portray that.
Doesn't portray that it's emotive, or doesn't portray that it's a crime novel?
No, it looks like just a straightforward crime novel, whereas I've heard it's got, like a beating heart running through it, and just looking at the cover, I just wouldn't have imagined that.
I know what you mean, yeah. Maybe it's it's a bit of a disservice to it, I don't know, but I'll feedback when I read it.
When you read it. So this one, Tennis Lessons by Susanna Dickey. This is published by Doubleday back in July, I think it was. it's a really slim novel. It's about becoming an adult and all the sort of car crashes involved. And I'm just, it does sound brilliant and very well written. I just haven't got round to reading it. It's one that I really desperately wanted as well.
I bought that in hardback.
I remember, yeah.
On my recent-ish trip to London, because I didn't get a proof. And it's like, sometimes you see a blurb and you think, this blurb is like if I wrote a blurb for the book I want to read. It sounds like exactly my book, and it's still sitting on my shelf unread as well, because I think we both have learnt by now, however much you want to, you cannot read all the books.
I know, it's so sad, isn't it? But I just want to read
they just keep coming out. More of them.
Stop writing, everyone. No, just quickly from the back, it says, from dead pets and crash cars to family traumas and misguided love affairs. So that's what that book is about. I
love the just not quite centre snog going on the cover as well.
Yeah, it's a really good cover. Is it the same on the finished copy on the hardback?
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, so that's
another buddy read, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Here I have Monogamy by Sue Miller. And I realised when I was choosing my books that there's a bit of a theme of, not in all of them, but Silent Treatment and this one, and then my final one, which I'll reveal in a minute, of marriage, like examinations of marriage. This says on the back, Annie is not the first love of Graham's life, but she is, he thinks, his last and greatest. Very recently he has faltered, but he means to put it right. Then the unthinkable happens. So his wife finds out about his infidelity. And a couple of bloggers who I really respect and kind of often chime with opinions-wise have loved this one. And I think Bloomsbury have been on a really good roll. They've put out some amazing books, and they've got some amazing books.
Yeah.
So again, I'm kicking myself for missing that one when it first came out.
Yeah, I have heard of that one, and I think there are a few sort of similar sounding books that are coming out in their 2021. It's obviously not the same, but very good otherwise. Yeah. Last one, and I know you've read this, and I can't believe I haven't. It's the one with the many covers. It's True Story by Kate Reed Petty, published by River Run. By many covers, I mean, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the finished copy has either all 4 of them, or it has this one, the pink one, the white one, and is there another one? Yes.
So that one that you're holding up now, that's the one that my proof had.
The blue one. Is it the one you wanted?
No, it's my least favourite. I really like the white one.
See, I like
the pink one as well. So that book is my kind of joint book of the year, along with Hamnet. It's the most inventive way to tell a crime story that I've ever read, and I'm quite angry that I haven't read it yet. And if we were in the same room, I would say sit in that chair until you finished it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you saying it's a really quick read as well, but what appealed about this one was it is a campus novel, but it's crime, there's emotion, there are lies, deceit. It seems to have everything. There's everything. And hence why the different covers, because it could have been any sort of novel. Yeah, True Story. I'm very sorry I haven't read it yet.
It's phenomenal, and when I was reading it, I don't know whether you have this. I'm a little bit weird. Sometimes I'll be just kind of going about my day with my children, my husband, whatever, and then I get this little kind of giddy feeling inside me, and I think, what's that about? And then I think, I'm reading that really good book and I've got it to go back to.
I do, I understand that, and I think loads of people in the group will understand that as well.
like when you've got a crush on someone and your heart goes a little bit funny, and you're like, oh, it's that book I can't wait to get back to. I can't wait for it to be bedtime so I can read it.
Yeah, it's so bad, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, shall I do my last one?
Yeah, your last one.
Rodham.
Yeah.
Curtis Sittenfeld. So this, for anybody who doesn't know, is a book about Hillary Clinton life if she hadn't married Bill Clinton, so a kind of fictional reimagining of her life. I have read a few Kirsten Sittenfeld books, and I've liked them all, but the one I loved is American Wife, and I'm sort of hoping this might have similarities to that one. I've heard some good things, not all good things, but that doesn't put me off. I bought this one because I was the publicist said she'd send me a proof or a finished copy, and then in lockdown it just wasn't possible, and I said, don't worry, I'll pre-order it, I'm desperate to read it. And here we are. Like, sometimes I don't prioritize the books I've bought myself because I feel like I have to prioritize the ones people have sent to me. So
I agree.
I actually buy them myself, which means I really want to read them. Then they sit there unread for even longer.
I know what you mean. All of my books are sat on the shelf. Moved around strategically, because I need a certain one to the top.
Yeah, I think our connection went a bit funny there, but luckily we've got to the end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About Rodham.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Sorry, yeah, no, I've heard it's got lots of saucy bits in it. So if people
I've heard that. I have heard that. One of my friends from school read it and absolutely loved it and said it was a great read to read on holiday, and I intended to take it on holiday and didn't for whatever reason. I'll feedback. I'm sure I'll review it at some point.
Yeah, it does sound good.
So that's the end. That's like all we've done is feel guilty, and you've given me 5 more books to feel guilty about. But hopefully people watching will find something they might want to pick up, and we'll be back in January to discuss Spy for January.
We will. January's going to be really difficult because I have as many as you do.
I was sorting out my books and my husband was helping me at the weekend because that's the life we live. And he was like, are you still on January? We've just got like reams and reams and reams of them. And I've read some of them already, and there's too much.
I've read a couple, but there are so many coming out in January. I don't know whether they've been pushed back or...
I don't know.
I don't know. There are.
But there's so many, and not only so many, but so many that look amazing.
There are.
So, but I'm not making it 10 for January, Suki. It's 5 for January.
Why not?
So we'll see you then.
Yeah, see you then.
Bye.